we've covered a lot of great new tech here at the Tour de France, but there's so much of it, we want to get the top 5. So we're going to turn to Caley Fretz, the tech editor of Velo News, once again for his views. Caley, let's go for it. The top 5 bits of tech from the Tour de France 2013. Let's start with number 5.
I think that'd be the Scot Addict. I think it has it's now the reigning champion of lightest frame in the pro peloton now. They have managed to build a bike that's frame and fork for under 1,000 grams, which is seriously impressive. They take that mantle away from the Velo RCA, which has just debuted a couple months ago.
Okay, so moving on, what else has caught your attention then at the Tour this time?
Well, there's a couple new Aero helmets, and this has been sort of a trend we've seen in the last couple of years. These Aero road helmets, I should say. They're not a TT helmet. They have vents. They're designed for everyday road stages. They're designed to be ridden when it's a little bit warmer. The new specialized Evade, which is they paid a lot of attention to vent placement to basically optimize aerodynamics without hurting venting and cooling too much. The other one is the new Cask Infinity, which is being used by Sky, which actually has a sliding cover over the top of it. So you slide the cover back and it opens up a couple vents in the front, and then you slide it forward and it closes the vents down, and you have an aerodynamic helmet again.
There's a lot of guys here sacrificing that ventilation for aerodynamics in some pretty warm stages.
Yeah, I mean it's a personal decision. You know, it was pretty warm, particularly through the middle of France there, but they're moving fast enough. They weren't climbing a whole lot during those stages. They can still get away with a slightly hotter helmet, and particularly the latest batch. Like I said, they're cooling better than ever. You know, some of the original ones are just the covers just offered zero ventilation. You're inside an oven in those things. But if you can let a little bit of air through the scalp, it helps a lot.
You were telling me about the new Castelli Super Aero jersey that the Garmin-Sharp guys are wearing.
Yeah, and this is pretty exciting if you believe the claims, the wind tunnel claims, and as with anything that goes through a wind tunnel, you got to take it with a big grain of salt, because how they test can have a really dramatic impact on the results of the testing. So we'll have to take Stelvio on their word here. They've been pretty honest in the past, but they say that the new jersey is actually faster than their Sanremo speed suit, which is the sort of jersey shorts sewed together in the back combination, basically faster than a skin suit. And they did that by using a sort of elastic section around the middle, which helps pull the jersey down, eliminate some of the wrinkles they were having before. And they also did spend a lot of time on fabrics on the shoulders and back, so they're working on boundary layer control. There's just it's about 3 millimeter layer of air that courses over your body when you're at speed, and playing around with surface texture can really change the way that layer works. And I guess they've found some sort of magic formula, and they're saying it's faster than their old Aero Race jersey, which was already, as far as we know, it's one of the fastest on the market. It's faster than their Sanremo suit. It's very close to a full-on skin suit, which is seriously impressive.
Okay, good stuff. Now, Shmuel have debuted some tyres here that have got quite an interesting history as well, I gather.
Yeah, so Schwalbe's been working on these tires for quite some time now. They have a couple sponsored teams, Radio Shack and others. They've gone through, I've had a couple different numbers quoted at me, but anywhere from 20 to 40 iterations of this tire throughout the season. They've had riders on them, both in training and in racing, and they finally settled on this sort of final version. They're calling it the One. Makes sense, I guess.
The big one, the number one tech story from this year's Tour de France. Caley?
That would be SRAM's introduction of hydraulic brakes into the road peloton. This is a first. It's an important step. It means that the UCI has approved hydraulics for road racing, not hydraulic discs, mind you, just the use of hydraulic shifter brake levers, and they're using it with a hydraulic rim brake. That's an important distinction. Yeah, it's exciting. Cav's been on them. Just on Tuesday, Tony Martin rode them. He rode them on the rest day and really liked them. And rode them yesterday, and in doing so became the first World Tour rider, to our knowledge, that has ever used the new Red 2211 speed with the hydraulics in a World Tour race. The hydros are kind of a stepping stone, I think. A lot of the, particularly SRAM, is making a big push towards disc brakes. Some of the teams, the mechanics, the riders, they're all a little bit wary of the disc brakes. The mechanics in particular, you got to get them used to bleeding hydraulic lines, and it's not something that road mechanics have had to do. So it's kind of a stepping stone towards maybe disc brakes in the next couple of years. The hoods are much taller, and that's because they have to fit a master cylinder in that hood, and it definitely looks a little bit funky. The riders, we're getting sort of mixed reactions from the riders. Some of them kind of like the up position. Some of them think it's a little bit too tall. It's about a centimeter taller than the old Shimano Brifters. Big problem everyone's trying to solve is the terrible braking you get on carbon wheels, particularly in the wet. Discs are obviously eliminate that problem completely, but the hydraulics, they do work a little bit better in the wet.
Caley, some great stuff there. A lot of things that we can look forward to when the products start to hit the market there. Some real tangible benefits. Thanks again, Caley.
Thanks.
For my money, Stana have got the coolest bus in the Pro Peloton. Now, it might be turquoise. It might not be called the Death Star like Sky Pro Cycling's team bus, but it does have